Hello, and welcome to my presentation on why Xbp Europe are fucking pricks, and I'm gonna brick their windows. So, I'm gonna cast your minds back to, what day was it? Monday, the 12th of August, where I find this lovely role on Indeed, this data entry position, and I'm like, this is banging. It's in Arlo, it's data entry. I don't have to do anything like heavy lifting. I'm like, this is great. I can just do my thing. This is what I'm made for. And so I see the address on the application. It says Sandringham House. I'm like, I wonder where that is. I wonder how far it is, if I could walk it, or if I might have to get a bike or something. And so I look, and Sandringham House, it says permanently closed. So I'm like, okay, this is a little strange, but I brush it off. I'm like, they clearly haven't updated it. But little did I know, this was an omen of signs to come. This was a sign of what was to come of these pricks. So I also want to draw your attention to the fact that they've listed the benefits twice in the thing. But yeah, no, it's just weird. And so I applied for it, and at 9 o'clock that night I get a little message from this woman, and I just want to draw your attention to the fact that at the top it says her name is Pramila, or I assume it's a she. It sounds like a she on the phone, so I assume it's a she. It says Pramila, but at the bottom it's signed off Neelam. So I'm like, who the hell is this? So I Google it. I find LinkedIn's for both of them. So this is Pramila's LinkedIn, and this is Neelam's LinkedIn, and they're most definitely different people that work for Xbp Europe. So I'm like, okay. And in the message it says just like, I need your visa status, confirm the pay, your notice period, where you live, and things like that. And so I message her. This is the next day, okay? Next day, 7:30. I've just seen her thing from last night. I message her. I'm like, thanks for the response. I'm a British national. Salary's fine. I live near Harlow. And I go, is this interview going to be in person or online? Like a couple minutes later, she's like, thanks for sharing the details. I'll send you an interview invite soon for the 21st of August, which didn't answer my question, because I asked, is it going to be online or in person? But okay. So I'm like, thanks very much. She asked for my email ID, so I give her my email. It's a bit weird saying email ID, but whatever. And about an hour later, I haven't received anything, so I message her. I'm like, sorry to bother you. I'm just wondering how long this should take. And so I get a call from her, basically saying, just give it a bit, we'll get back to you. I'm like, alright. So 2 days later, I've still received nothing, so I go to the XBP website, and I go to the Contact Us page, and this really wasn't what it's designed for, but I'm like, I haven't got what I said, but I basically said, I was told I was going to have an interview on this date, but I've received no update. Can you get someone to get through to me? Because the woman on Indeed is useless. So the following day, I get your request has been received. Never got followed up on that, by the way. But I'm glad they received it. So I hop back on Indeed, and I'm like, I still don't know a time and location where this interview is. Can you get back to me? As I still haven't got this interview invite. Cause I'm getting a little bit wound up. Didn't reply to me until Monday. So we got to wait till Monday next week. So this has been a week since I first applied. And she goes, I'm happy to extend an invitation. I'm like, yes, invitation for my data entry role. Let's go. And it says shifts between 7 and 7 each night. I'm like, why is a data entry position a night shift? I'm like, that's strange. But I'm like, okay, fine. I know that they're an international company, so they have people in different time zones. I'm like, okay, maybe it is a night shift, whatever. I mean, it's 12 hours. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But she says it's a job fair. I'm like, I thought it was an interview. And she goes, yeah, it's a job fair. I go, alright, when should I be there for the job fair? And then she says, get there for 10 AM for an interview. I'm like, okay, so it's not a job fair, it's an interview. She said to bring all of these things, like resume, social security number. I didn't need any of this. I didn't have a lot of this. But I brought what I could. I didn't need any of it. They just let me in. Look forward to meeting you. I'm like, brilliant. So the next day, I get added to her Google Calendar thing. She's just invited me. I'm like, okay, great. Basically said what she said in the previous message. And this is the day before the interview as well. So I'm hopping on this man on YouTube, sweating him out, watching everything. And then I get my night's sleep. I watch him again in the morning. And then I get a little message from her saying, please confirm once you reach the office. I'm like, how do I confirm? What am I confirming? I don't understand. And she goes, message me after completing the interview. I'm like, okay, sure. So I get to this place. Emma driving me there. I get to this place, and it's not permanently closed like they said. But I'm there about an hour early because Emma had to work. So I was there like an hour early, standing out there. There was no like thing to get in, so I just had to stand in front of the glass door till one of the like caretakers saw me and let me in. I'm like, you're right, mate. And I just sit around for like an hour, and I just keep seeing more and more people come in and sit with me, and it was like 15 people, and I'm dripped out in my suit for my data entry application. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing great, because they're all coming in like their tracksuits and everything. I'm like, oh, I've got this. They're just not got the drip like I do. And they take us all up. Mind you, I was there first. I wasn't interviewed first, obviously. So they take us up, start pulling people off randomly, like random order. And I get called in by this woman. There's two women there. And the first thing they do is go, tell me what you know about this position. I'm like, it's a data entry role, so you need to be like quite analytical, and I'm quite good at like maths and shit, so like that's my kind of thing. I'm like numerical, and I start using all these buzzwords and everything. And they're like, nah, you got it all wrong. This is sorting the Royal Mail packages. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, and continue the interview. I'm like, okay. So they're just telling me what it is. I'm like, cool. So I get back about 11. I message this woman. I'm like, I've completed the interview, but this ain't the role I applied for. Can you get back to me and tell me why? She calls me. And, oh, I forgot to mention, last time she called me, I could barely understand her. So this time when she called me, I just aired it and waited for her to message me instead, because I knew I wasn't going to understand her. And like a minute later she goes, I'm trying to connect, and I go, microphone on my phone's having trouble. Even though it technically is. I mean, Lucy knows it is. And I'm like, that's not the position I applied for. Can you let me know if the original position is still available? She goes, 8 hours later, position's been filled. I'm like, brilliant. So she really didn't need a phone call anyway, but whatever. And so a week later, I get a call from her. I ignore it because I'm like, fuck this bitch. She's like, sent me to the wrong interview, and I can't understand her anyway. And then I get a message saying, please confirm you've received the contract letter. I'm like, what contract letter? No, I haven't. She goes, check your spam folder. I'm like, it's not in my spam folder. She's like, I'll check with the team. So she checks with the team. I have to wait a day, obviously. And I get this little message from Kim saying, I'm pleased to offer you employment. I'm like, yay, I get to sort the Royal Mail packages, but at least I've got a job. Yay. And she goes, yeah, Kim sent it to you. I'm like, dandy, she did send it to me. So the next day, which is Friday, I read through it, and it's like, it says it needs all these things, but it needed right to work evidence. And I'm like, I don't have any of that because obviously I live in the UK, and it says UK passport. I'm like, I don't have a passport or anything. So I'm like, hi Kim, I don't have a passport, can you help? She goes, yeah, no, you don't need one. You're born in the country, you're good. So I then wait till the Monday, because I wasn't able to message them on the Saturday or the Sunday because they wouldn't be in. And I'm like, hi Kim, how do I accept the offer? How do I provide the documentation? Does it need to be digitally or in person? Any clarity would be appreciated. Nothing. So next day, I go, hi Kim, can you explain how I go about accepting this job offer and how I supply the documents? And then I messaged a woman on Indeed. I'm like, I've been messaging Kim, she's ignoring me. Can you get a hold of her and let me know what she says? She's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, alright, thanks. Then I get nothing. I message the woman on Indeed, go, sorry to bother you, do you have any update? Because she said she'd update me and she didn't, so I'm like, okay, do you have an update? Get nothing. So I've waited till the following day, on the Thursday, and I messaged a woman on Indeed again going, please get back to me as soon as you can, because I think the employment offer is going to expire, the employment offer may expire soon, and I'm still not getting a reply from Kim. Why would I be sent an employment offer and then ignored when I'm trying to accept it? It's been a complete waste of my time. As if I knew that I wouldn't get a response, I'd have been searching for employment elsewhere. It's an absolute joke. That was today. And I get a call at 1:30, which I ignore. And then I get an email from her shortly after saying, basically, your employment offer that we offered you, yeah, no, we're not doing that anymore. Yeah, sorry, we're just taking that away. And now, you thought you were going to be doing this job and you like planned to be doing this thing. Yeah, no, you're not doing that anymore because we're fucking idiots. I'm like, that's nice. And so I message him, I'm like, I understand this ain't your fault, even though it is her fault because she sent me to the wrong thing in the first place, but I'm like, this ain't your fault. I blame the company. Your company's a joke. The recruitment process has been a pain in the arse. I had to pass on other things because I thought I was going to be doing this, and I'm not. You're all a bunch of absolute time wasters. I know it's not your fault. This is the last thing I'm ever going to send to the company. What? Yes, please. Can I just have Big Mac meal, please? So, yeah, I'm like, that will be the final thing I'll send you, and that's the end of the story. So that's why we're gonna go brick their windows if you want to come along.